So I'd like for you all to do something for me. What player comes to mind in the NHL, to you, that poses the biggest threat to his opponent's safety, has the most disregard for the rules set in place to protect them, and has a lengthy rap sheet of past suspensions due to his careless antics? I'm going to guess that if you aren't a self-proclaimed Caps fan, that most of you pictured this face in your head. Yes, that of Tom Wilson's, the player that has had no shortage of questionable actions displayed on ice thus far in his professional career. So then with that being said, it's not a shocker that most likely, similarly to Matthew Tkachuk, that we could dig up even more jerk moments to add to the list here. In this video, we're going to continue what we started and go over some more moments where number 43 was clearly playing in the gray areas. And with that, here are 4 more jerk moments from Tom Wilson. Okay, just picture this. You're on ice, your team's down already, and the opposing team scores. Alright, so it's a bit of a blowout game for Washington. Okay, but it's not the empty net goal itself that we're going to talk about, but instead how Wilson just seemingly lost it, as wires obviously crossed here after. Getting back to it, you see the team celebrating, so you take it upon yourself to display zero class in the moment by literally going over and butting in their celebration? I mean, am I wrong here that it's kind of messed up? I don't know. And even Alex Georgiev tried to get in on the action as well by giving the Capitals antagonist some opportunistic jabs from the bench. And due to his questionable behavior, Wilson ended up racking up a laundry list of penalties, including a 2-minute misconduct penalty and a 10-minute misconduct for his confrontation with Lindgren. So yeah, I guess the refs kind of agreed with what I said there, or that it was just unnecessarily classless. Now I know a lot of people are going to say that this hit was clean, and obviously, I mean, you're entitled to your own opinions, but to me, skating into a guy that's obviously falling down and not trying to avoid him is kind of questionable. Anyways, the play itself took place in the final frame of play as Sean Kuraly was trying to get something going near the slot in the offensive zone, and it was there that Wilson decided to target him, as it was obvious right here that the forward was falling down, therefore Wilson could have avoided him, but then still, he followed through and caught Kuraly in an awkward spot and result. And you can clearly see here that Wilson had enough time to react accordingly if he had some sort of empathy towards his vulnerable opponent. Even still, there goes the elbow right there into the head, which probably bended Kuraly's neck as well, similarly to like a car crash effect. And it was pretty evident by his behavior and reaction, because I mean, he left the game, that he was impacted. Like I said, varying opinions here, I'm sure, but it's Tom freaking Wilson. He's never been given the benefit of the doubt for a reason, because, I mean, he built this reputation for himself by his own actions. Speaking of the reputation, Wilson was in full form here during the game that took place against division rival, the Pittsburgh Penguins, earlier in the season, as Mark JANKOWSKI is focused on trying to make a play as he chipped the puck into Washington's zone. In the first period, Wilson, in a predatory-like nature, sees his head turned and goes in for the hit. JANKOWSKI, as you would expect, had no real time to react here and to protect himself, and is completely blindsided on the play. Not only did Wilson go completely out of his way here, but also the hit itself was made quite late, which got the attention of the official as he was dealt a minor penalty for interference. Meanwhile, JANKOWSKI could be shown fixed on all fours after getting pounded in the chest, unable to gather himself for quite some time until he was finally able to make his way down the tunnel to the locker room. Luckily for Pittsburgh though, the forward did return for the start of the second frame of play. And finally, for the grand finale, we have the latest act that got Wilson suspended, as during the remaining seconds in the first, number 43 took it upon himself to make a beeline, pun intended, with intent and dished out a high hit on Brandon CARLO as he was trying to chip the puck up ice. Wilson could be shown hitting CARLO's head, which caused the defenseman to probably see stars, as he could be shown grabbing his head and acting dazed immediately after. The hit itself went uncalled, but even though Washington didn't lose a man on even strength, Boston lost one of their blue liners, as CARLO immediately left the playing surface as he was helped off the ice and taken to a local hospital. But despite the refs deciding to let the hit slide in-game, NHL players' safety didn't, as Wilson was dealt a 7-game suspension for his actions. Despite serving his full suspension, this time anyways, CARLO was out of the lineup for much longer than his perpetrator was. As Wilson was out of action for around a couple weeks, CARLO, on the other hand, was out with a concussion for more than 3. First few days were kind of tough, CARLO says. Lots of emotions involved with it. Different from the other concussion I had last year. severe. I felt like my mood was really off, and for the first bit there that night, my vision was a little blurry and messed up. Couldn't really see out of my right eye. So that's why I went to the hospital, he says. Thankfully for Carlo though, he was finally able to rejoin his team against the New Jersey Devils 25 days after the altercation took place.
Fast game, they play hard, we play hard, but I mean, you could see it. He hit him clearly in the head. You know, Brandon's in an ambulance, goes to the hospital, obviously, from that hit. Clearly looked like, to me, got him right in the head. Defenseless player, predatory hit from a player that's done that before. So I don't understand why there wasn't a penalty called on the ice. They huddled up, but I did not get an explanation why.